Hey, I'm Katie, and today I'm going to be showing you how to draw a dragon. I'm here with the Piedmont Regional Library System, and our summer reading program theme is fantasy, so let's draw dragons. So the very first thing you're going to think about when you're drawing your dragon is what pose it's going to be in. So I have an example of a few different poses you can think about. They're all pretty simple shapes, so you don't have to be too intimidated. You can just have simple circle for the head, oval for the body, and connect them all with lines, and whatever you feel like doing. I'm going to do something like this pose, and you can follow along with me, or you can do your own thing. It's up to you. There's plenty of space to be creative with it. So I'm going to start out by drawing the head. Dragons are based on real-life lizards, so you can kind of think about different features that you see in different snakes and lizards and kind of copy that. Like I'm just going to add some spikes to the back of the head on my dragon, just for fun. And then we're going to do two little parallel lines coming down like this to be a neck. So then we'll bring that down and then make the body. Like I showed you on the pose sheet, the body's kind of an oval shape, so you can kind of keep that in mind when you're drawing. Now dragons generally have really long tails, so you keep on going with those lines. You're trying to try and keep them about the same distance apart. And I'm going to make mine into a loop-de-loop just for fun. So it's okay if your dragon at this point doesn't look exactly like mine, because dragons are made-up creatures and they don't really have a set of rules. You can make them however you feel like. So if your dragon has a longer tail or a fatter body, as long as you're happy with how it looks, then that's great. So we have this little tail here, and now I think he needs some wings. So I'm going to start up here, and we'll try and keep it nice and symmetrical. Give him a nice big wingspan. And swoop up like that, and now I'm going to bring it down here, give them wings. Dragons are pretty big creatures, so it makes sense that they would have big wings. And then just like little scallop shapes like the Batman logo, connect it back to the body. Again, trying to keep those symmetrical. And there you go, you have a simple little dragon outline. Now if you're like, that's the extent of my artistic abilities, then you can just color that in and boom, you have a cool dragon silhouette. Or we can go ahead and add some details. So dragons often have spikes going down their back, so I'm going to give my dragon some spikes. As you can see, I'm looking at them from above, so they're just going to look like little long shapes. But once I get into the tail curves, I'm going to make it so you can kind of see the little triangle shapes. And you don't have to add spikes. You can add more spikes if you want. This is all up to you. There's lots of room for creativity with dragons because, like I said, they're made up. So I'm going to add some spikes to the wings, just some little fun stuff like that. If you want, you can look up pictures of dragons. I think I'm going to try to put a document with some pictures of dragons for inspiration that you can look for, and just kind of see what you like best and what kind of features you want on your dragon. Give him like some fire coming from his mouth, some crazy stuff like that. So now that you've added details, we can shade him. Or if you'd like, you can add color. I'm going to show you how to do both. So I'll start with telling you how to do the pencil shading, and I'll demonstrate that on the side. And then if you want to do color, I'll color it in on the side and kind of show you how. So when you're shading it in, you just want to use really light, even pressure on the pencil strokes. Shade it in. And I'm going to do it darker here, like that's where the wings are folding. And it's okay if it looks messy, because you can just keep adding on layers of pencil to smooth it out. This is something we can time lapse through. Now, as an optional step to make the pencil lines smaller or smoother, I like to use this blending stuff. But if you don't have one of these, then you can also use a Q-tip or a piece of paper towel or anything, and it just kind of smudges the pencil together and makes the lines smoother. You can also do that with your finger, but I don't recommend it because your fingers have oils on them. So using something like a Q-tip or toilet paper or paper towel is going to give you that smooth effect. But of course, you don't have to if you want. You can have neater pencil lines and shade it like hatch marks with pencil lines, whatever you think looks best. So we're just going to smooth out the pencil shading here. And then when you're done with that, you can go back in with an eraser and make it lighter in areas where you want it to be. Like that. Make shiny parts. Because dragons have scales and they're pretty reflective, so if you want to add some shine, and then you can go back through with your pencil and add littler details. Now, let's say you want to color your drawing. If you have crayons or markers or colored pencils or anything, then what I would first advise is going over your pencil drawing with a pen or a marker to kind of do a nice solid outline. So I'm going to do that here. I'm just going to take my marker as an example, trace the outline to give you nice clean lines to color in. So it'll look like a coloring book. So we're just going to do that here with the marker. Trace all the details that you want to keep in. And go ahead and be thinking about what kind of colors you want. Your dragons come in all different colors throughout all fantasy things. I think I'm going to color mine today green, but if you wanted a purple dragon or a silver dragon or a white dragon, then you can do whatever you feel like. Because it's a fantasy creature and there are no rules. That's one of the best parts about drawing them. So I'm just going to draw my little spikes here. And we're just about done. So now I'm going to get my colors. And just like, oh wait, before you color it in, you might want to go back and erase some of your pencil lines so that they don't get in the way. Because once you color over it, they're going to be harder to erase. So whether you use a pen or a marker or whatever to outline, you probably want to go ahead and erase those first. So then you can start coloring in with whatever colors you choose. I'm just going to do like I did with the pencil and apply nice even pressure. You can start out with lighter, is my advice, because you can always make things darker, but it's a lot easier to go back once you've colored something in really dark. So now I'm going to go through and add some shadows, just like I did with the pencil, but I'm going to use a different color, a darker green. So I'm going to go in and add shadows where I think there would be shadows, like where the wings crease here, and just make that darker to add some detail. And of course, you can do that whatever color you want. And now just to add some contrasting colors, I'm going to throw in orange just for fun on the spikes. And there you go, a quick little example of how you can draw a dragon with pencil shading or with color. So there you have it, there's a dragon drawing. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did follow along and you drew a dragon of your very own, please post it wherever you found the video, on Instagram, on Facebook, and tag the library, because I know we would love to see it.